That's my sister.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We have been able to get in touch with Honorable Aya Warile. I really have to thank her so much for taking time out to drop the things that she was doing, to leave where she was and find a better place with better internet to be able to come and talk to us. This just shows you that when a woman wants to do something, she will go ahead and get it done. And thank you also, Esther, for making it possible for this to happen. We were not able to have her together with the other panelists, but we know that her input on this topic is really important. Our topic today is preventing and responding to violence against children and adolescents in South Sudan. Such a timely topic, especially during this period where women are speaking out about their histories of violence, especially when they were children. If you have not heard about this, I'll ask you to go to Twitter, look for the hashtag South Sudanese survivors. And for these women, once again, we are together with you, we support you, we believe you, and know that this is not something that you should have experienced, and we do not want our future children of South Sudan to experience the same. I'm going to read out Honorable Aya's bio briefly, and then we will go to the brief discussion with her. So Honorable Aya Benjamin Libo-Warile is the current Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare under the Transitional Coalition Government. She holds a Master's of Science degree in Animal Production from the University of Aberdeen in Scotland in 2001, and the Bachelor's of Science degree in Animal Production from the University of Juba, 1997 in Khartoum. In the humanitarian sector, Honorable Aya has served in many roles in different international organizations and UN agencies such as Gender Advisor with VSF, UNDP Consultant, and FAO Livestock Advisor. She worked as the Deputy Director in the then National Ministry of Animal Production and Fisheries until 2013. Honorable Aya is an avid academic and entrepreneur. She has taught in the College of Natural Resources and Environmental Studies at the University of Juba, South Sudan. She is also the founder of SudaChick and Target Companies in South Sudan. She will be joining us in her capacity as the Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, discussing child rights, welfare and social services in South Sudan. You're welcome, Honorable. Thank you for joining us. So we will go straight to the questions. We have been able to talk about violence. Ms. Stella Loki, who is a child rights advocate, defined for us what violence is. Dr. Elizabeth Warile talked about the health impact of violence against children. Ms. Christine talked about violence against children in schools and educational settings. Advocate Atom Majok was able to break it down for us what the reporting channels are for children when you're seeking justice for children who have experienced violence. So, as we talk about preventing violence against children, I'd like you to lead us into the discussion on protecting children from violence and preserving their rights. What progress has been made in South Sudan regarding the enactment of laws to prevent violence against children and adolescents in South Sudan?
Thank you. I'm honored and privileged to be part of this. I would have loved to be with the others so that I would also get to know what they said and how to come in. All the same, I'm happy to be here. As a ministry, to date, South Sudan has what we call the Child Act 2008 in place. And the purpose of this act is to extend, promote, and protect the rights of children. For the purpose of this discussion, I would just like to mention three in chapter 2, 3 items that are relevant to this. One is the right to protection from torture, degrading treatment, and corporal punishment. Right to protection from abuse, protection from all forms of physical and mental violence, protection from injury, protection from abduction and trafficking, protection sexual abuse. And the other one is protection, the rights to protection from marriage and negative and harmful cultural and social practices. Then the one is the right to protection from harmful substances. This is important for us to mention for the purpose of discussion.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
have the Child Act 2008 in place.
Okay, that is wonderful. And I think also Miss Stella had actually mentioned, Miss Stella and Miss Christine, they had actually mentioned the Child Act. There was one question, however, regarding the African Charter for ending violence against children. I don't know if you are familiar with it, because Stella had wanted to ask whether South Sudan was party to this. Would you have any comment about that?
I won't really say that because I haven't come across it. Maybe that's something.
Yeah, I think she did mention that she was not sure that South Sudan was actually a party to the African Charter against ending violence, because it's specifically curated for the African environment. So definitely that is something that we as South Sudanese can look into. Now, you have talked about the laws regarding protecting children from violence. Would you want to maybe mention to us what the situation is in terms of implementation of those laws? Because the laws may be there. Are they being implemented? Yeah.
By appreciating what everybody has done. The law is in place. We appreciate the effort of everybody who participated in it. But I must say that the implementation is never close to our expectations, or it's not even near to what should have been happening by now. For a number of reasons, of course. I think our communities are not aware about the existence of the law itself. Even the children, I'm not sure how much they are being taught at school about their rights, but that one, I think, is also missing. And of course, poverty. Poverty is a issue, so poverty is also there. I want to talk about the last two, which I think are very important. One of it is the prevalence of traditional practices and the continuous conflict that we have. In my short time in the office, I encountered some issues with children, and you realize that the parents rather go back to tradition, handle it in a traditional way, and sometimes, let's say most of the time, the tradition is not really in the favor of the child. We tend to care about what people think about us. We cover stories, but we don't really think about how that affects the child. Emotionally, psychologically, and I think we don't. It's either we don't care or we don't know, because this is which lasts in the life of that child. I really feel that this is an area that needs a lot of work. The community leaders, even parents. I'm sure you've come across stories where the first person to know about an incident is the mother, but the mother would rather keep
Yes.
quiet.
Quiet.
And
Yeah.
the other one is this continuous conflict that we have. This has messed up the family as a unit.
Structure.
Yeah, family structure, and eventually, when the family is no longer a family, what that one means to the whole society. We have a lot of work to do in that. Every institution has a lot of work to do in that because it's going to affect the next few generations. I'm sorry to say that, but that one is already something that we can see coming. These are the two areas that I feel we need to discuss more. Maybe even have a whole discussion on it. Just the traditional.
Yeah, true. Just having this discussion and all the issues coming up makes you realize there is so much we can talk the whole day about this topic. And I'm glad that you have mentioned norms and values, okay, and how we are a culture, how our culture is such that when something happens to a child, the mother does not want to speak about it because she's thinking, how will people perceive me? And we need to go beyond that. You've also talked about the ongoing conflict and how it affects the family structure. I very much agree. And you mentioned poverty. Do you want to expound further on the role of poverty in the violence?
One aspect that is of very of concern to me as a woman and as a ministry. If you look carefully, the most affected people are the most vulnerable ones. So a class of people who cannot afford to provide for their basic needs. So when a situation arises, they are more than the families that are better off, in the sense that they are less protected. They can't even pursue the cases, so they would rather keep quiet. Suffer silently. Most of the kind of violence we get these days are normally these people. I would rather say this class of people. We term vulnerable. Yeah.
Okay. So, is there a child welfare desk or office in your ministry where such cases usually come?
Well, as a national ministry, we deal with policies and at this level, but we have the state ministries. And in every state ministry, there's a whole directorate of child welfare. Activities surrounding children are handled in that directorate. Yeah.
Okay. So the first stop for parents when it comes to, say, reporting such cases, would they go to the state ministry? Would they go to the police or local government? Any advice?
We encourage families, whether they're children, women, when they have issues, they should report to the police first.
Okay.
For us to follow up, the police needs to know about anything that is happening. And Then they can then move on to the other service providers. We have cases of, especially DBVs, they don't want to go to police for many reasons, of course. But one of the reasons is the feeling that you are not understood. The person you find there does not really understand what you are talking about. We have a special desk in a number of stations here, but we need to be training the officers regularly because they keep on moving from one place to another. And I understand most of what we call special protection unit not functional now because either the officer in charge has been transferred to another place, one reason or the other, so they are not functional. We encourage people to report to the police because if you skip reporting to the police, then they have a now not to be part of it. We have a team. All the stakeholders must be on board when there is a case.
Okay, so when it comes to policies in the ministry, what are some of the policies in place to reduce the cases of violence against women and children? And what challenges are you facing in implementing these policies?
Okay, we have policies to address GBVs, and we are working hard now to make sure that we launch a special court to handle cases of GBV. We talk to our partners. We'll have special trainings for people who are going to be handling our cases in our court, the police stations, and even community members and youth who are going to be policing at the community level. We also have standard operating procedures for any center that we may be established to take care of survivors. We call them safe homes. Yeah. I must say that there's so much. I mean, like you said in the beginning, we have many of these.
Okay. Yeah.
But implementation is quite difficult, because it's a responsibility of everybody. And we miss it, then it becomes difficult. Say starting right from the family level or the community where whatever violence happens, if they're not handled well, if you don't use the right procedure, then it becomes very difficult for the service provider to provide the media.
Okay. So is the national ministry linked with the state ministry of social welfare with regards to this, and how do they coordinate their work?
Yeah, like I've mentioned before, actually the implementers. Currently, you know that the state government is not yet formed, but we go to the formation maybe in the near future. Then we can then start working with them. But on a number of issues, we've been coordinating with that. For example, Director General in ministry. They're the ones now responsible. They give us information every time there is something that we need from the states. They're the ones who report to us. Yes, we're in connection with them. Yeah, we're in contact with them. We coordinate work with them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. You talked about poverty being a contributor to this violence against children. There is one of the strategies that has been put forward regarding income and economic strengthening. For example, cash transfers, livelihood. I don't know. Is there something like that that is happening in South Sudan?
There's a project
Mm-hmm.
um, that has just ended.
Mm-hmm.
Informed that it had ended, and but they were giving loans to women.
Mm-hmm.
That was specifically to empower women economically.
Mm-hmm.
And the report I'm getting is that is successful.
Okay.
And then we got a grant. This time is a grant of I think 20 million, if I'm not mistaken. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure, but around there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we are going to be implementing.
Okay.
What's in the states? Yeah,
Mm.
and that is really women. And they
Okay.
want to improve their livelihood.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned it that it involves women, and that's a good thing because we do know that women definitely take care of their children. Um, Regarding the work that you're doing in the ministry, the national ministry, is there a national action plan regarding violence against children? And does that plan involve child marriage? I know we're not going to go so much into it, but maybe we can touch on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is, and what if you followed me, uh,
Mm.
uh, the one of my 100 days action plan was to review that.
Okay.
We talked to some partners
Okay.
and agreed to help us with that. But COVID-19 has really messed us up. Most of this need coordination, consultation meetings, and all this, so it's a bit slower, but they're working on it.
Oh,
I know that uh, they formed a group. I don't what is call it, a group or a committee of
mm,
especially areas where there is early marriage. For this,
okay.
they've agreed to stop to end early marriage by 2030. Yeah,
Mm,
I'm not sure
mm,
about that, but they've agreed. So these
uh,
people are there, they are being facilitated to make sure they follow up what is happening in the states
mm,
and reports
mm,
on what is happening, whether the number of early marriages have gone up or down. So they are supposed to be reporting that. And again, since I came, because of what is happening, nobody was able to go to the states and follow this one up. Especially
oh,
now, the government of the states are not in place.
okay. Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. COVID-19 seems to have disrupted so many activities. Yeah. Are there any challenges that maybe you may want to address with regarding to this implementation of this plan?
I've talked to a number of partners, and
Mm-hmm.
they've responded. The only thing is now the time most of the items I have on my list has to do with consultation and all this. So you see, communicating by email, but we couldn't meet. We couldn't go to state to consult or with different groups in Cuba even to consult. No, that's what I've done.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very positive about it. Let's hope that COVID somehow will go or will adjust and then we'll start working. It should be a problem. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to point out something. As someone who works with children and a big advocate for children, I noticed that when it comes to cases of violence, there is already something structured and in place when it comes to gender-based violence, but children get forgotten. As you've actually mentioned that there are stations where gender-based violence cases are reported. But we know that violence also happens to children in many ways. Is there any plan to develop a hotline number where, maybe children who have experienced violence can reach, or parents, or maybe a well-wisher, or someone who is noticing a child in a situation that is not good can call and make an anonymous report or file an anonymous complaint? Is there any such plan in place?
The plan we have now is what we've seen happening. In Cuba, you'll know that this tendency of parents giving their children to, I don't know whether to call them homes or orphanages. Very many in Cuba, only in Cuba. You will find churches or the national organization, a group of 2-3 people would decide to establish a home. You are right. I didn't find any documents in regards to how to establish those homes and the specifications. But what we are doing now, we've gone out to assess all the homes or the orphanages. Received the report yesterday, and we are going to sit and analyze. But this is not a solution. The best place for a child is in the family environment. Whatever is causing people to leave their children, because I'm told some parents, the mother, the father would walk with their children to the homes with the children because they believe there's food, there's they're not able to take care of that. So we are working on that. We are going to consider children this time. Yeah, because it is becoming too much. You go on the streets, you'll find children all over the places. And if we don't handle that now, it might be very bad in the future. So yes, we are not doing much on children, but we've started with this assessment for us. Yeah.
I just want to point it out there that we should not forget the children. Yes. Any final comments or recommendations as we conclude?
I want to say this. Children are the responsibility of the parents. There is no excuse. All of us, we know how important it is to grow up in a family. In Africa, in our African society, we never used to have orphanages. There's nobody called an orphan, because if a child loses the mother, the sisters of the mother are always there, or the grandfather is always there. So they are never they are never taken out of a family environment. I want to encourage mothers that we take our responsibility. What we need to do now is to make sure that we empower the women. We empower women so that they're able to take care of their children. Sometimes it hurts me when I see a lactating mother or a pregnant mother with the 3, 4 children, and when we discuss the issues, the man is never part of it. No, she has a husband. These children have their father, but nobody is talking about the responsibility of the father. We might have really gone wrong with our society, but I just want to encourage mothers. The best place for your child is with you. Yeah.
I think
we are here to develop policies, and we are here to support so that they can be able to take care of their responsibility.
Yeah, thank you so much for those wise words. I hope that all the women who are listening, mothers or not, that they will be able to heed to what you have advised. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone who is watching us today from our Facebook platform or on our YouTube channel, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Honorable Aya Warile, Minister for Gender and Child Welfare and Social Services. I've been moderator for this discussion, Dr. Grace Joan Soma. Please don't forget to like this video, to comment, to share, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this. And we would like to thank the UN women who are able to give Honorable Aya Warile space in their office to be able to do this interview. We really appreciate the work that you are doing for women in South Sudan. Thank you so much, Honorable, for your commitment to talk to the women. And thank you, Aisha, who is the admin for this discussion, for reaching out to make sure the minister was able to take part in this discussion. As we close, I am still going to repeat this quote. The true nature of a nation standing is how well it attends its children. When children are hurt, we as a society are diminished. And when we work together to end violence in their lives, we rise to the best in ourselves. Let us all rise to the best in ourselves. Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to close the show.